Hey folks, this is Waylon Lewis from Elephant Journal, and right behind me, we're not going to try and show it too much, but there's a bear in the tree, a big bear, and everyone is naturally trying to Instagram and hashtag and stuff, and it's been kind of heartbreaking because I guess it stresses out the bear, and the bear's shaking and peeing and stuff. So I'm here with Brenda.
Brenda Lee with Boulder Bear Coalition.
Yeah, Boulder Bear Coalition. So a lot of people in Boulder are kind of heartbroken about this because a lot of bears get tagged and tranked and
yes,
and then shipped off or something, and then they come back and then they get shot eventually.
Yes. Yeah.
So how does this work, and what can we do if we see a bear?
Well, if we see a bear, we actually don't want
This.
much attention around the bear because that just adds to the stress of the bear. And in this situation, this bear is very close to town, so it's not a good situation.
Yeah, we're in
for the bear.
downtown. Yeah.
Very close to downtown Boulder. And so what we don't want to do is...
Guys, if you can keep your distance and not
we
take
don't
photos.
want to add to the stress of the bear. And this bear is upset. It probably came down for trash. We believe this is one that's been getting into trash in businesses.
So they're hungry.
Mm-hmm, they're coming down for food. That's the thing. They're coming down for food. And if food's available either through trash that isn't secured properly or fruit trees, they're going to come for that. And then what happens is they get stuck in town where there's cars and people.
So the first thing we can do is be able to lock and secure our trash, right? And our compost and...
Yes, and there's a big part of Boulder that you have to use bear-resistant trash cans.
But this is going all over the world, so wherever you are...
Wherever you are. It doesn't
secure
matter
your
what
trash
the law
and
says.
compost.
So there are trash bins available, easy to use, and will save a bear's life, period. Will save a bear's life if you can secure your trash. And so this has been a continual problem here in Boulder, as it is in many cities throughout the U.S. And so that's the number one thing to do. This is a black bear, and they are typically very shy, don't want to interact with people.
So just the quicker you guys can not hang out.
If you guys all can keep moving, that'd be great for the bear. So what we're hoping with this bear is that he'll come down on his own and we can corral him to open space, which is far away, but there is a corridor that we can corral him to. But then we have traffic and people, so it's a bit.
So as long as all the
tricky.
people are assembled, it's probably not coming down, right?
This is true. However, as he gets hot and gets more stressed, CPW may decide to tranquilize him. It's not a safe situation because there's cement right below
And there's
him.
people everywhere,
and bye, Chris. Thank you.
That guy was awesome. The animal control guy was
great
awesome.
Guy.
Yeah.
So with this bear, if they did tranquilize him, what they do is they'll move him 50 miles away. The problem is he's ear tagged. That's considered one strike. Anytime an
he already
officer,
has a tag?
No.
Oh.
That would be if they move him. Anytime an officer has to touch a bear for whatever reason, they get a tag in their ear. So then if he comes back and he gets into a similar situation, even though he hasn't threatened anyone, he's not doing anything, if he's in a similar situation and has to be tranquilized again, he'll be killed because that's a second strike.
So why do we kill the bears? Because they're in the habit of coming down?
Yeah.
And that's
pretty... it's a threat to people.
Why is it a threat to people? Because the bears they seem like they just want to be away, get away.
This is true.
So it's just our policy.
It's a policy of the city. The city's number one priority is to keep people safe.
Right.
So if there are people in town who say, I don't want a 300-pound bear in my backyard rummaging through the garbage because I might bump into him unexpectedly, please get rid of this bear. The city has an obligation to keep people safe.
I mean, I would bump into bears unexpectedly when I lived up at Chautauqua in the middle of the night, and they would just run.
Right.
There was never a conflict kind of...
It's an ethical question, and I run Boulder Bear Coalition, and
well, thank you for your work.
Our whole mission is to protect bears and have the community do our part to keep them from coming into town in the first place.
Right. So wherever you are in the whole world, secure your trash. Secure your compost.
Harvest your fruit.
Harvest your fruit.
Don't roll out a red carpet for these animals and then get mad at the officers who come in to shoot them.
And maybe don't Instagram it. Like, we've seen hundreds of people coming by, constant stream. Everyone has to take your photos and share it, and I get that it's a natural thing. I just got yelled at by the owner of the Bradley Hotel over here or someone who works there, because I was like, if you cannot do it, and she definitely didn't appreciate that. So it's a natural impulse, but
it's all about, we're fascinated, and they're beautiful animals, and we need to do our part to keep them safe, and really it's about learning how to do that. A lot of people in town don't understand bears because they've never seen one, so a big part is educating and to really do what we need to do. Boulder Bear Coalition also just planted 2 forage buffers with Open Space. We partnered to plant native food up in the mountains so that they stop as they're coming down and
I like that.
would rather hang out and
That's
eat
so cool.
8 hours of berries instead of coming into town for
I
trash.
love that.
So
Yeah,
things
because
like
they're
that.
just hungry and they're
Just
big.
hungry. That's all they're just looking for food. So we need to keep them out of town and out of trouble.
Yeah, so this is, as you said, Michael saying, why kill a bear in your backyard? Are you kidding? So this is just the city policy. I'm sure there's
It's
lots of people.
actually statewide policy.
Statewide
It's
in Colorado. So people are concerned about their children or their dogs or whatever. The bears obviously are not very conflicty, but the same thing happens with mountain lions, right? And they will be a little more attacky.
I don't think it's good for the bears or people to have a big animal like this in our neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is let's keep them where they need to be.
And this bear up in the tree has been panicked and.
Yeah, it's not good for him. And
yeah.
So it's just better all around to keep them out rather than fight the policy of why do they shoot them when they're here? Yes, it's a policy that.
But why can't they trank them and take them far away? It just doesn't work. They come back.
Quite often.
Can't you take them like deep into the?
There was a bear, 590-pound bear, was brought to the border of Wyoming on the Colorado side. He had surgery on the way, so he was tranquilized out of it. Had surgery.
Why did he have
in Fort
surgery?
Collins. He had a jaw injury from a fight, probably with a bear.
Wow.
So they did that in Fort Collins, then let him out on. So this was 100 some miles away. Within a month, he was back in the same spot in South Boulder.
Wow.
It's like they have they have territory.
And they have family probably or something.
That's why for a juvenile male, it's more likely to work because they're looking for territory. That might be why they're in town, is looking for space. You relocate that bear, it might stay.
Okay, well, thank you for your work. So what are you trying to do this morning? You're just trying to kind of...
We're just trying to keep, well, 2 things. I'm keeping an eye on the bear. What can I do to help so that they don't rush to tranquilize it because no one's watching the bear?
Right.
So it's really to keep an eye on the bear. The second is I, as the head of Boulder Bear Coalition, am in very close contact with the city.
You're the head of Boulder Bear.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so I'm very much involved with CPW and the city on what their decisions are and making sure that the community is aware of how we're managing bears in this town. And
if you were in charge of statewide policy, would you change anything? Or do you feel like it's kind of just what it has to be, basically?
I would change things. I would really, really focus on enforcement of how to keep these bears safe from the community level, just like the bear trash cans. So I was integral in making that happen.
Nice, yep.
And making sure the city is not passing off the problem to the state and saying, well, if there's a bear in town, the state will come in and do what they need to do. No, the city needs to be responsible.
So how can we... and you, with support, affect that change? Do you need to talk to congressmen or the governor or some some body?
It is at the state level.
Yeah.
It's Governor Hickenlooper is in charge of the Colorado Parks and Wildlife Commission, and they make all the decisions on how
just
wildlife
constant people
is
taking
managed.
photos. It's so irritating.
So it's at that level.
Okay,
and we
so
are working with
Hickenlooper.
Hickenlooper is really the one in charge who determines what the commission looks like. The commission right now is very skewed towards hunters and landowners, livestock owners, and it's not representative of Colorado. And so that is something that needs to be changed. Also, the funding structure of CPW is mostly
What's CPW?
Hunting, Colorado Parks and Wildlife.
Okay.
And so if from the
it's
top
mostly
down,
about hunting.
It's about hunting and livestock, land, oil. And so there's a lot of decisions based on that, and that structure needs to change, and that really comes from Hickenlooper. And so there are Representative Lebstock, Casey Becker.
And you're in touch with her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
because I'm relatively close with her.
Yeah, but the more we can do to bring community together, to show that there's certain things the state is doing on a state level that is just not okay, and that the laws no longer reflect the community of Colorado, then
where we appreciate wildlife as a tourism source.
Right, and money talks. So is money all about the hunting, or can it also be, are there other uses of the land and appreciation for wildlife other than hunting?
Right.
I mean, maybe I'm not saying it's no hunting.
Sure.
But is it appropriate, the level at which it's contributing.
Okay. Well, thank you for
sense?
your work.
Thank
Yeah, it makes a
you.
lot of sense. I can, I'm good friends with State Senator Steve Fenberg and Jared Polis, our congressman, running for governor. And
Yes,
so
actually, I'm very interested in that
anything
race.
we can do to.
All right, well, let's be in touch because the more people that are intelligent and thinking about this and not just
the bear
emotion-based.
is right here, people. I don't really
So I'm
want to
gonna
video
head
it
over
and be
there
part of
just
that.
to keep people away. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for your work.
So nice to meet you.
You're awesome.
Thank you.
So that video you can share on your